had a chat with Jolien after the Champions League coverage you guys did, and I said, you know what, yeah, I think KDB could go down as the best midfielder at one point, on top of Scholes, Gerrard and Lampard. I know they're English, but obviously those other guys, they were there when the Premier League started, the majority of them, but the way he's moving, he said, Jolien was just like, it's Gerrard still for him, but he said KDB could be close.
He's just equaled. I think he's just equaled or gone past him by one guy in terms of assists in Premier League.
And he's
Less
still
than
got
half.
He's got in less games. He's got 125 overall in all competitions. Like, it's crazy, mad numbers what he's doing at the moment. He's still got a way to go to get up with like Cesc and Giggsy and Lampard and that.
They can never do it like I. When you see man pull up and slide, man stepped in a room with legends, Rio and Steve, you know it's a vibe. Check the podcast, what you wanna know? Don't ask me, go and ask Joe. If you're talking Premier League, he's on the front line and I gotta go. It's a vibe with five, and you already know what it is. It's a vibe with five, and you already know what it is. Vibe with five, and you already know what it is. It's a vibe with five, and you already know this.
Right then, we are back. Stephen Howson, Real Ferdinand, Joel Bayer. This is a Vibe with Five. No United this weekend, postponed. Liverpool postponed. Couple of games postponed. Only the big clubs though. How'd you get on?
3-0, mate.
What a start.
Hey, remember that team that battered you a few weeks ago? Top of the league, baby.
He's talking about that.
Do you know what? I loved Gabriel's tweet after.
Yeah.
I loved that banter. Like, you had Tony hammered them last season with his tweet, and then this time, instant message. It was lovely. I love to see it. If I was playing, that's what I'd be on, you know.
Is it?
I'd be smoking people
on
Twitter before games. Yeah.
I think you'd be getting called into Fergie's office every Monday morning.
I'll take the fine.
Yeah.
I would.
What would he say? Did he ever already finish? Because I know he didn't want you going on Twitter when you first joined.
He used to say, "What's that Twitter shit? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, that old man talk." And I say, "Gaffer, one day Man United will be on there. All the players in the change room, they'll all be on there." Gary Neville, Wazza used to say to me, all of them, they just look at me like, "What's this geezer doing? He's an idiot." Like, on these social media platforms. Nah, they're all on it. They all love it. Man United are on it, and like, I just had a little bit. I saw it for what it was. People just thought you were just talking to people, but it's like a business, man. It's run like a business, and it's like where you can bring the fan closer. And I just saw that, but I was on it, and the gaffer was like, "What are you doing?" But if I was, maybe, you know what? If I was as a defender, probably not as much, not as chirpy. Because the striker can actually just have a bad game and just like the ball can hit him on the head and go in, and you're in trouble as a defender. Yeah. But if I was an midfielder or an attacking player, I am telling you, no defender or opposing midfielder would sleep well the night before a game. Because I'll be on them.
Did you ever get pulled in for something you'd said on Twitter?
I got fined for stuff. I got fined probably, I think, 40 grand for one tweet.
What did you?
Yeah, I think one something to do with Ashley Cole.
I remember that one.
Really?
Yeah, I got fined. I think it might have been 60 grand. I never got fined by the club for tweets, but I got fined by the FA twice. There's another one I sent. I think I said someone's mum or something. Someone was hammering me or something. They said something and I weren't happy, and I had a few drinks on a Saturday night. And that's the advice to any person. Do not drink and go on social media. And I said something about someone's mum or something like that, and I got fined. About in the thousands as well. Like,
it's funny. Taking it back to what you said about Sir Alex not liking your stuff, I remember I read in his book, actually, he said something, which I think he was interviewing P. Diddy. And then you told him, like, I'm going to interview P. Diddy. He's like, P. Diddy? Like, he was proper shocked.
No, P. Daddy, P. Dodd.
Was there a picture with them at one point as well? Was that because of you?
Yeah.
Put the picture in, please.
So he come to Copenhagen, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
And he was performing or doing something there, and someone I knew him, and I'd done something with him before. Mm-hmm. Then he just come into the hotel and then linked up, and then I said to the gaffer, "Do you want to meet him?" And with the players.
What made you think, Sir Alex might want to meet P. Diddy?
I just thought Man United just want that F1 stardust.
Is it?
That you get, like, so I just thought bringing P. Diddy and all the boys were gassed.
Is it?
Oh, mate, all couldn't wait to get a picture.
No way.
Unbelievable. The gaffer was standing there thinking, who the hell is this geezer? Like, but he just came in, he was cool, he was calm.
Oh, I love that.
Fergie not sitting there listening to No Way Out now.
No way.
All about the Benjamins.
Oh man. Okay, cool. So
hang on, before we go off, I want to just mind this topic a little bit. Did you used to tweet like that? I don't remember it.
What, raw like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
About a game coming up and...
Oh, no, about... I used to tweet at people, like, if someone said something, I used to go back at them, but...
no, not that, I get that. I mean, about...
No, I never tweeted about players I was playing against, because I was always, as a defender, you can get hurt, you can get embarrassed. Do you know what I mean? Or you can have the best game of your life, be a 10 out of 10 in the game, someone else makes a mistake and you get beat and you get shut down. So I never done it.
Smart man.
But you think you would now?
Yeah, 100%. The way social media's evolved in that, I would use it.
You wouldn't care.
I would use it, as a tool.
Okay, look, this week we're going to run through the results that have happened. We're also going to be looking at the signing of the season. We've actually also done an exclusive on Acast that you can listen to after you watch Vibe with 5. This is an exclusive, right? Exclusive. Me, Rio, Steve. We talk about
Arsenal's fixtures.
No, we do.
Team of
the season, but we have a massive argument.
Joel tried to put almost a whole Arsenal team in there. It's a joke.
It's a sick listen, so make sure you go check it out.
It's a joke.
5. But yeah, back to this. Before we look at the Premier League, Rio, did you watch Atletico versus Real Madrid this weekend?
Wow.
Matic,
mate. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. Well, if anyone who doesn't know, there was a pundit, or he was like, I think he's the head of the players agency or agents association in Spain. He was on TV on a show, and he said something quite racist about, or very racist about Vinicius Jr. about dancing, and he shouldn't do that. And he referenced a monkey when he said it. So that kind of went viral in itself. And listen,
did you see the chance as well?
From that point, it goes either two ways, doesn't it? There's either an apology and a retraction, or what actually happened.
Yeah.
Which is mental.
Like, he didn't actually even really apologise. He just said that the context of what I said was wrong. It's like weird explanation for it. But it's like it seems like it's accepted a little bit in Spain.
Yeah.
And I've been there. I've played there for the national team and been on the receiving end of monkey chants and stuff. But when I watched Atletico Madrid playing against Real Madrid this weekend and saw what happened, and I'm sure you guys, if you haven't gone, check it out. There's one guy with
game was raw.
There was one guy with I don't know what it was, but it was like obviously a black person's face holding it up, laughing, like as if to say they knew what they're talking about. And they was getting a lot of chants and monkey chants on the way in when the team bus arrived. But I read up on this actually and just looked at the history in Spain. There's a lot of it's gone on the pitch. On the pitch more than here in England. Like it's crazy and very unapologetic and trying to just put stuff under the carpet. And it doesn't seem to be dealt with the right kind of militantness that it needs. I think we need to be more militant here to send a signal out, but I think other countries need to follow that suit and be even more. But nowhere's dealing with racism the way that it should be dealt yet. So we can't sit here and say, in England we're getting it right because we ain't.
Yeah, he played well. Rodrigo scored as well.
They've done the dance. They've done the dance.
So, you know.
You'd have to, wouldn't you?
Oh, mate. I'd have gone straight to where the cameras were.
Straight.
Bang.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It was good to see that.
The most over-the-top dance I can think of doing as well.
Yeah. And by the way, do you know what? It's weird because remember Griezmann used to do the...
That's what he said. It was like social media dance. That was a Fortnite dance.
Griezmann used to do that. No, I didn't see anyone coming out and saying, stop, leave them monkey things or leave that. You shouldn't be doing that. Everyone was going, it's brilliant. How are you doing it? But then because he's black and he's doing that, he's get told, put that back in there.
That's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy when you think of it like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, look, we're going to focus on the Premier League games this week. I want to start off with Tottenham just to get them out of the way. Beating Leicester 6-2. Now, I'm not just saying this to play like the Arsenal role here. But
I agree.
Leicester weren't as bad as, it looks on the score sheet. I think Son was just phenomenal. That's what it was. And I actually feel sorry for Brendan Rodgers because
Leicester had more shots.
That could be his last game.
Madison was like, whoa. Yeah. Like, they looked like he was going to score loads of goals in the game. And it was weird. But it seems like it's a different Spurs. And I've heard a lot of Spurs fans, I'm not happy with this. And we're not. But even against Chelsea were a better team by a mile. Got a draw out of it.
Yeah.
This team, Leicester looked like a team who were going to go on and win the game at points. They still win. They score 6 in the end. So it's that there's a Conte effect in this team that
100%.
is a little bit different. Yeah, there's that grittiness.
And you Spurs fans need to remember who you are. You ain't got no trophies, bro. You ain't had trophies since 2009.
Did you hear the bass in his voice?
No, it's true because I've been hearing the same thing, Rio. People talking as if they're entitled. Entitled to what? Entitled to what? Someone tell me. Have you seen their attacking strength?
8th. 5th.
Like, seriously, I would love to have the team that they've got.
So they got a better team than Arsenal?
I think so, yeah.
On paper?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I do.
You heard it here first.
But don't mean you're going to win a trophy, like, you know what I mean? But I do. I really think.
Do you think you've got more? Do you think you'll finish above Spurs, Arsenal?
No, I think Spurs finish third. If they play their cards right, they finish third.
Do you think you win a trophy before Spurs next trophy?
I do, because I just feel like they can't handle cup competitions. I can see us winning the FA Cup this year. I can even see us winning Europa this year. Spurs ain't winning Champions League. You know,
They could come in the Europa and win the Europa.
I don't think they will. I think they'll make it further enough, which will eliminate them to make it.
You got a manager in Conte that knows how to win. Why would you think you can go further than them in the cup?
I don't know if they take that seriously enough, which means that they don't win anything.
Anyway, Spurs won. Son comes on, hat-trick. I did say it before. And I think I was on BT Sports doing a game, and I saw some tweets saying about, Son needs to be taken out of the team, blah, blah, blah. He got taken out of the team, comes back in. He shows that right attitude that you come in, you don't salt, you say, I'm going to prove everyone wrong, the manager wrong for taking me out of the team, and he will play me next game. Bang.
It was emotional, innit? It was really emotional when he scored. He stood there and the players came, hugged him.
I don't think there's many players that I would probably feel more happy for. I think that's universal. I mean, probably over across loads of fans who don't support the Spurs, but he comes on and scores a hat-trick after being dropped, and you're all sitting there going, do you know what? Oh, what a fella,
he's
what a man.
He's like Haaland to you guys. Like, City player, he's a rival, but you can't help but... You know.
Can you imagine sitting
here?
I get as biased as
it
comes when it comes to Liverpool and City. But can you imagine not being complimentary about Haaland at the minute? Can you imagine the mental gymnastics you need to try and diminish what he's done?
We'll talk about that soon.
You can't. You just can't.
We should move on. This is a good segue. Let's move on to it now.
Yeah, no, you might as well. I mean, Man City doing the business, beating Wolves 3-0.
I was at the game.
Jack Grealish. That was a good finish, by the way.
Do you know what? Before the game, everyone was questioning in the media, all over socials.
Joel Bayer.
He shouldn't be in the team. Joel used one of them. I didn't want to say it, but the player said he should be dropped. How's he in the England squad? Get him out. He shouldn't be playing for City.
Should be in the England squad.
Should be in the England squad.
Shouldn't be in the England squad. How's he in over Sanchez?
What I like is that after that, and listen, as a player, you sit and you hear all that, and you'd have been going into that, especially after his performance midweek, and he said it himself after the game, didn't play well. Got dragged off, and then I was kind of lucky to be playing in this game after my performance midweek. Goes in there and knows he's got to produce, pressure's on. And then does it. And I think it's interesting to listen to what Kevin De Bruyne said in the media this weekend as well. He said if it was a foreign player who come in for that money, he wouldn't be treated in the same way of harshness that Jack Grealish is getting treated. We treat our players so differently. Wayne Rooney is a good example. We treat them. We have a level of expectancy in all aspects of their life and on the pitch that we hold them to a different standard to a lot of other players.
Yes,
I think.
and no, Rio.
I'm telling you, I think we do.
Wait.
Go on, then.
Are you saying we've been harsh on Jack Grealish?
Yeah. He ain't.
No, I think there's elements of his. I'm not saying football-wise. I think there's elements of his life. You have to remember the words I used in his life that he's scrutinised a lot differently sometimes to other players who come into his country.
Talking pure on the pitch stuff, he's not produced for the money.
I'm not saying he does. I'm on the pitch. I agree.
Do you know why we disagree with you?
We look at players differently.
You were on holiday. If you were on social media this summer, you would see the backing that Jack Grealish had from the majority of the people. Like, yes, there were segments of the media that were like, oh yeah, he's partying. We were supporting the fact that he was celebrating, saying he's going on holiday. We were cool with it.
But that then...
We were just saying...
I get, but that then gets used against him when it doesn't start to go well.
That's the difference.
No, I don't say that's the problem for him.
Cool.
I'm saying the difference is there's other players that don't get treated like that, or maybe foreign players.
He's the only one that came out and did all that
No, I'm not talking about this summer. I'm talking about in general, over time. There's players that do stuff that will not get judged like that. Do you know what I mean?
So let's light on him. Like Mason Mount. He went on holiday with Mason Mount.
Okay,
no one spoke about
for
Mason
instance,
Mount.
no, he's English. I'm talking about, say for instance, Mahrez.
All right.
Mahrez was partying out with Haaland, everything. When Mahrez is missing for games, etc. No, he don't get called.
That's true.
There's other players.
But Mahrez is also giving you 10 out of 10 performances every other week. So
no, but I'm saying when he's had times when he hasn't performed, he hasn't been called. That's all I'm saying to you. When he's had times when he's been out of the team. Last season, he was good. But I'm talking before that. He's been there for a good few seasons at City.
First season he weren't good.
People weren't going, oh my God, Mahrez is this and that.
He weren't bought for 100 million though.
Again, the other thing is,
at that time, it's big money.
Both of them have been covered up by the fact that the Manchester City team continues to win in spite of their poor performance. If you come in for £100 million, like Lukaku
British record, by the way.
You don't perform. I mean, what did Lukaku score last year? It was embarrassing.
Mate.
You come in and do that, you get criticised, no matter who you are.
And he was getting criticised quickly.
No, on the pitch, I agree. Everyone gets called when they're not performing. But there's elements outside of the pitch that the people get called for that others wouldn't get called for.
Do you think you have a biasness, because you've been in the system and we haven't? We're looking at it from an outside perspective.
I thought the same when I played.
But that's what I'm saying. Because
English players were treated differently to the foreign players in the media. a lot of the time. If we stepped out of line
Yeah.
and a foreign player stepped, very different.
Give us an
I
example.
actually disagree. I think Manchester United English players got dealt with harshly.
Yeah,
and I
that
think
agree.
other English players, like look at Alan Shearer volleying Neil Lennon in the head.
Steven Gerrard.
It wasn't even on Match of the Day. Just move on. Yeah, you did that. Forget
sorry,
about
but-
it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
parliamentary questions.
I agree.
If Rooney did that, forget about it.
Steve saying it is true. He's right.
I'm
You're
saying
right.
the same thing as Steve though.
Man United
I'm
England
saying-
players.
Yeah, but that's what I said. And also because if you compare when Steven Gerrard used to go out allegedly, have a good time, etc., get into whatever, it's not the same. Lampard.
United players were held to a different
players at
standard.
that time
Yeah.
we were getting treated very
It's not
differently.
the same.
You know why? Because when you're winning, that's what happens. When you're a big club and you're winning, that's what happens. The spotlight is strong.
Yeah. Cool. Moving on.
Don't happen at your club.
So what we talk about now?
It don't
Arsenal.
happen at your club.
Arsenal 3-0. Brentford. Ooh.
So we didn't finish on Wolves. Sorry, Haaland. Sorry,
Oh,
Haaland.
yeah, it's true.
I watched the game. His third touch of the ball in the 15th or so minute, he scores. Like, and I see on social media a lot of the time, he don't touch the ball. We don't get involved in the game.
Was that
Who
his
cares?
third touch of the ball in general?
In the game, his third touch of the ball was when the ball went in the back of the
Let
net.
me give you the stat, because the 2 touches before must have been the first time that he actually touched the ball at all. Because he gets the ball, received the ball, and he does that point. You know when he's going, man better play that ball quick. He does that, receives the ball, touches it twice, right? First to take it out, does the little shimmy, second touch, third touch, goal. So if you're telling me...
No, so it's third time he got the ball.
Okay,
third
cool.
time
I
he
was
got the
going to
ball.
say, that is...
Yeah, crazy. But it's still at least on the pitch.
Madness.
The keeper's had more touches than him. It's crazy, but the efficiency, man, is nuts.
Do you care though?
No, not at all. Pep's sitting there rubbing his hands, licking his lips, thinking, I don't care. He's there to finish off chances. That's it.
I saw a video with him and Grealish.
He's going to win
after
the
a game.
Champions League, isn't he?
And
so.
he said they were like in a tunnel. It was him and Grealish. It was a few weeks ago, and he goes, "That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here." He's got that confidence, that arrogance.
He knows what he's there for.
Yeah.
And I said this the other day. He doesn't get the problem with a lot of strikers, right? When they don't, Wayne Rooney was a good example. They don't get the ball. They're frustrated. They go searching. They start running
didn't
out
like
of
that,
position.
did you?
And I hated it, yeah. And he used to run out of position and got to go and get on the ball and do a 30-yard pass and go, right, I'm back in the game. I'm getting touches now. I feel more involved, etc. With Pep's teams, it doesn't work like that. If you're not getting the ball, you still stay in your position for the structure of the team. Thierry Henry used to say, listen, I started roaming at Barcelona. He said, come and sit on the bench. with me."
Scored, by the way.
Scored goals, but said, come and sit on the bench
Took
with me.
him off.
Watch. This is how you're meant to play. Regardless of goals. So this is how for the team you're meant to play. Haaland's like that. And there's no frustration. In fact, he's not getting the ball. He's not really... I think it'd probably be different if he's not getting chances. But he's not getting the ball in all of the open
City
play.
team's always making chances.
He just doesn't care. And then the ball comes and he's still got the rhythm to find and the movements and then bang, the cold finisher. Mad, it's crazy.
Who's he remind you of that he played with? Is he rude?
He's a bit. He's
not
got
rude.
more like. He's got more
not, yeah.
aggression.
He's a bit Zlatan, but at the same time,
Body
rude,
type.
But then there's a bit of Torres in him as well. Like it's a bit weird.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had one like him.
Nah.
The shot power on him as well is just...
But I don't think he's shown his shot power yet. Even the one at the weekend was a scruffer.
He scuffed it
His
a little
right
bit,
foot
yeah.
scuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just like, don't know. He's definitely got the single-mindedness and just the goal thought of rude.
So United didn't sign him because they didn't want...
He
this is
didn't
pre-Dortmund.
want to go. He didn't want to go.
From what I'm led to believe from United, he was up for it, but United didn't want that 50 whatever
Buyout.
£million buyout, and they didn't want the agency to control because they thought he's here 2 years and then he's gone. Would you have took him for the 2 years?
I would have took him with the thought that Man United would have weighed heavy on him, and then he'd have thought, seeing what it's like here, I've got to stay.
Do you think he's going to stay at City, or do you think he'll be a couple of years and then?
Oh, no, I think it'll be a City for his contract term, minimum.
Yeah, I say 4 years. Madrid is the
Yeah, I
the
think
final
he'll go
destination.
to Spain at some point, but I think he's definitely do.
He's going to be
A big
200
club.
goals
A
deep.
big club in
before he
Spain.
goes.
Yeah.
Big clubs.
What's City's record, by the way? Do we know what City's goal record is? He could break.
Oh
that in
no,
4 years.
Aguero's got to be there. He's got to be there for at least 5-6 years minimum.
I don't reckon he's going to need
He's
that long.
he's not gonna need that long.
I don't think he's going to need that long.
Weren't playing a lot of the.
He's got
last
to get
couple
50
seasons.
goals a season minimum.
And I don't think even he goes, all right, cool, that it, yeah.
Whilst he's searching, 2 performances, please. Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden.
Oh, I was there on the pitch next to them, and I watched at close quarters the
260.
shooting.
260.
He's got 5 seasons to get 50 goals a
He
season.
won't do that.
Good
He won't
luck.
do that. Yeah.
But He'll go close. But I watched them doing shooting practice before the game. Kevin De Bruyne put on a clinic.
No
he
way.
He put on an absolute clinic of how to move the ball. I said this before. He had the ball dancing, moving all over the gaff, like off both feet. Me and Jolie and Lescott were standing there, was both doing the punditry on the day. As he kept hitting the ball, was looking at each other going, "Wow," laughing and then laughing like, "What is this? Like crazy." Haaland in the warm up
Can score.
I was thinking, this ain't the real Haaland. Surely his mates won a competition and come as him. Like he didn't look comfortable. He didn't look, just weren't in
the rhythm,
in good form, the rhythm. But then the game comes on his third touch, the ball's in the back of the net. It's just mad. And I mean, we're sitting there scratching our heads.
Because it's different when it's game time. You know this, man.
It's
like, you know what I mean?
know, but he's ice cold in the game, and he's not thinking. Sometimes when you run up to a chance and a shot in train, you're thinking, where I'm going to put it. It's like Grealish run up to the ball on his left foot twice in the warm up, smashed it, just slapped it, no curling, looking for the top, just went bang, 2 mad shots in the goal.
Wow.
And I thought, in the game, maybe sometimes Jack's thinking a bit too much. I don't know, but yeah, it's just I like seeing the things like around the game. Sometimes the training drills during the warm up, and I used to go as a kid and watch the warm ups with my dad. Used to watch Ray Wilkins at QPR passing the ball from side to thinking the sound when he hits the ball, man,
just
different, soft. Mad. I love it.
Before we move on, I just want to say I had a chat with Jolien after the Champions League coverage you guys did, and I said, you know what, I think KDB could go down as the best midfielder at one point, because on top of Scholes, Gerrard and Lampard, I know they're English, but Vieira as well. The reason why I say that is because obviously those other guys, they were there when the Premier League started, the majority of them, but the way he's moving.
How does Gerrard keep getting put in these lists?
No, stop it.
Honestly.
No, but
honestly.
Like, funnily enough, he said, Jolien was just like, it's Gerrard still for him. But he said KDB could be close.
He's just equaled. I think he's just equaled or gone past him by one guy in terms of assists in Premier League.
In less than half as many.
Yeah, he's got in less games. He's got 125 overall in all competitions. Like, he's crazy, mad numbers what he's doing at the moment. He's still got a way to go to get up with like Cesc and Giggsy and Lampard and that.
Does he impact the game more than Scholes, Gerrard? Maybe not Vieira.
Not Lampard.
No.
Lampard scored more goals all day long. 20 goals a season for 4 or 5 straight seasons.
But I think we can all agree that he's bottom of that list.
Who?
What?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
I think I don't, with the conviction you just said that, I don't agree.
No, I'm not saying it's not that clear cut. By the way, Lampard.
No, I'm just saying it's not. You can't sit there and go easy. Frank Lampard's at the bottom of that list.
Easy.
Wow.
He weren't as impactful as Steven Gerrard. Like, if I'm
Shut up, please. Now, what am I hearing, Joe? Please.
Stevie's a god.
Wait. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying you just said he's not as impactful.
He's not.
Frank Lampard scored 20 goals a season for 5, I think, or 6 seasons on the bounce. No other midfielder in Premier League or European history has done that.
Take away Frank Lampard and don't associate Frank Lampard. Put in Michael Ballack, and you're going to have somewhat sort of return. You can fix that. But there's only one Steven Gerrard. There's only one Steven Gerrard. Lampard.
It's unfortunate for Steven Gerrard. He was at Liverpool, who were a dead team at that time.
And he won the Champions League with who? Traore and them, man.
Myth as well.
Lampard's not winning the Champions League with Traore. He's not doing that.
Sammy Hippier, Jamie Carragher, Alonso, and Diddy Aman, and Torres. I'm not having that. This is a dead team. I'm just not having it.
Different times. He didn't have them all at the same time, by the way. Stop it.
They did have them all at the same time.
No, he did not have Haaland same time as flipping Torres. Come on, different times.
He was still in that midfield with those two who were both better midfielders than him.
What Stevie's doing, Lampard had a whole...
We'll never know. We'll never know.
What did they do?
But we'll never know. It's unfortunate for Stevie that he was in a team that didn't have the team of players that Frank Lampard had, whatever.
Stevie.
And Scholes maybe, right? But when you're talking about impact, my man shot his team to the Premier League on a couple of occasions.
Was impact the wrong word then?
It was, yes.
So what am I really saying?
Who can kick out for a goal?
Who can be Roy the Rovers?
Oh, stop it, man.
That's not a diss, that's a fact.
Right.
Stevie was Roy the Rovers.
Paul Scholes' ability to control the tempo and flow of a game and maintain
unrivaled
possession
between them three.
Right.
He was the guy.
Whereas if you want someone to just boot it 60 yards to no fucker, Gerrard,
that's too much. You've gone too far there, Steve. I can't agree with that.
And he's looking at
What are you saying, man? How come we always get to this point? Stevie, Frank,
anyway,
or Scholesy?
Wow.
Scholes, Carrick, Lampard, Gerrard.
Stevie. Scholes, Lampard. In fact, Stevie, Kevin De Bruyne, Scholes.
Where's
Lampard.
Vieira and Keane?
He's a bit of a different midfielder,
They're
though,
both
isn't
up
he?
there, though.
Like Keane.
That's it. I think they're
Where's
almost
Paul
different
Ince, by the way?
positions.
Where's Paul Ince?
I won't. That's not my era, mate.
He was my first favourite player.
That won't. I'm too young.
Paul Ince.
All
Can I just say, Paul Ince, for a good
Liverpool.
4-year spell,
Bit of
was
shit.
unplayable.
My first Paul Ince
Mad
memory
player.
was probably World Cup
Middlesbrough,
98. Yeah,
Middlesbrough
Middlesbrough.
at
Yeah,
times,
yeah,
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
He was an unbelievable footballer.
Is it?
Yeah, I actually think he actually gets disrespected when we talk about the greatest.
Do you know why he
Keane
does?
said that as well.
Because the Liverpool fan base ain't going to have him because he's a
Yeah.
United player, and the United fan base ain't having
Michael
him
Owen
because he
gets
plays-
that as well.
Yeah. There's no home for them.
Yeah.
Right, they said you're homeless, Paul.
And that's
Ince's homeless. That's out of order.
But that's the
Ince
game,
and
though,
Michael Owen are homeless.
no one's going to advocate
Yeah,
for you
he's not
because you're
honest.
kind of a little bit in between.
Let's
West
just talk
Ham
about
fans aren't
ability,
having him
though.
because he left.
But if you just talk about ability and what they've done,
Well, look what he did for Fergie, right? He managed to bridge the gap from Brian Robson to Roy Keane for Fergie. Now that is some big ass boots to fill, and he did it.
yeah, he was a joke.
And
mate.
like, who's doing that? Like, who is doing that? Who's filling the Roy Keane doesn't get the flowers he deserves. Roy Keane was an unbelievable
I think we know that.
footballer.
I don't think there's any.
No, I think there's plenty of the
question.
audience here that think he was like some sort of Vinnie Jones character.
Yeah, no. He was a
He's a
footballer,
baller.
mate. He
He
could
was a
play.
baller.
He was
Yeah.
he could have it with anyone. He'd go toe to toe physically with anybody. He could overrun
Pure
anybody
box
to box. If
The
the
problem is
ball dropped
Premier
on
League-
one box and he'd be one of the first to get it at the other side of the midfielder, and he'd do that for 90 minutes. He'd scored the odd goal here and there, but also in terms of influencing other players. Like, that's a bit element that you don't really see the naked eye, but in getting the best out of other players, pulling them through when there's a time where your team has gone a goal down or it's difficult away from home in Europe. And sometimes players need to look to someone. If he's calm, we're going to be all right. He's that guy. Like, there was more to him than just playing. And do not ever underestimate how good he was with the ball. The ball. If you look at the clips with Roy Keane, there ain't many clips you see where he gives the ball away.
90+% pass
And
completion.
he passes the ball forward. He weren't just a sideways merchant because he was like a holding midfielder when he
That's
got
what
later
Carrick
on.
got shit for when he joined, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Because
no.
Carrick came, and Carrick was a little bit more sideways and hold it. But Roy Keane was 90+% possession, and it was going...
The ball would come off Gary Neville and he'd go first time, bang round the corner to the front man and then join it earlier in his career. But later on, just play it, Scholesy would join or whatever. But he was a mad footballer. Don't get the credit he deserves as a player, 100%.
The problem is that Barclays era when the Premier League really blew up, like the 03, 04, 05, 06 sort of time.
Coming to the end, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he didn't have the legs to do the box-to-box stuff that he did when he was in his 20s. Because when he was in his 20s, he would epitomise what box-to-box means. He'd be on our box, nailing someone, win it, pass it, and then follow it in there, and he'd be looking for the rebound after someone.
I think as well, when you talk to Frank and Stevie as well, and you talk about playing against midfielders, Vieira and Keane, they were coming up young against them, and they were thinking like, that's almost intimidating them two, like as characters, personalities, but not only that, but players. Like, and you look at it and you think, if Frank, if say I don't know, Frank, Stevie, Scholesy, Vieira, Keane, they were playing against Kevin De Bruyne now. Be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The game's different.
Two-man midfields too.
If would Kevin De Bruyne be able to play in a two-man midfield against like a Vieira and Scholes? Would he be as effective?
No, because you ain't gonna have the chance. You ain't gonna have the time to even do what you're
Freedom.
That's what Scholes
Yeah.
did, though. That's why Scholes.
I'm
and
not
Keane
doubting he
need
would.
to
I
be-
think
No,
Kevin
I-
De Bruyne would. I think he would.
Know.
I think he would.
I don't know.
Because
But
mate,
it's interesting.
his capacity to run, his dynamic, his ability on the ball. Only Beckham passes the ball better on the run,
So you
crossing
need
wise.
next to him. You'd have to play like a
Or
Vieira
Trent.
next to him.
Yeah. Or who?
Or Trent.
Trent.
Do
yeah,
not put Trent and
Trent.
Beckham in the same
you
fucking
can put-
sentence.
What? Let's not.
I'm gonna go home.
Listen.
What are you talking about?
Have you seen Trent's passing ability?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Trent's like 100 shots, one of them came off. There we go.
whatever.
David
Wait, we're
Beckham
not-
would be 1 for 1.
Yeah, cool.
2
Listen,
for 2.
I'm not saying
3
Beckham's
for
not
3.
number one, you know. But
Don't put him in the
Trent's
same
passing
sentence.
ability
No,
is
listen, if you're going to start
world
talking about
class.
Trent, let's talk about David
World
Bentley.
class.
Because David
World
Bentley
class.
was as good a fullback as Trent would have been.
Okay.
What?
I want to move
No,
on. Please, don't do that.
What's the
Don't do that.
difference? You tell me the difference between David Bentley and Trent.
No, that's different world.
Yeah, come on. We're moving
Mega
it
set
on.
piece,
We're
mega
moving it
cross.
on,
Can't
Steve.
defend for
Steve,
shit.
we're moving it on.
More Ward Prowse, maybe.
Yeah, we're moving it on.
Ooh, Bentley. If you'd have
Free
played Bentley
kicks
as a
and corners.
fullback, if you'd played Bentley as a fullback, I think he looked like Trent. Don't put him in the same sentence as Beckham.
No way, man.
Trent and Beckham. Nottingham Forest versus Fulham. Sorry, 3-2 Fulham. My gosh.
Is Steve Cooper going to be in the shit here? You don't get 24 new players and then get to the bottom of the league.
I saw a tweet, something like he's going to have more new signings and points by the end of the season.
Oh my God.
That's how I've all done.
You got to think every signing brings a point at least.
It tickled me.
So yeah, that's it for Fulham. We've mentioned Fulham. Jake.
Yeah, what's going on with Jack? Where are you? Do you want us to
he
keep
sent me a
going or
message
what?
on the weekend. He said,
What, saying what? Let's talk about it when they get beat.
Talk about Fulham now. Ha ha, Paulina. Ha ha. Like, you know.
Listen, Fulham, they deserve, like, they're
Yeah,
doing well. They're doing better than anyone expected. Even Jack, he wouldn't have expected them to be doing as well as they're doing. And don't lie. You know we're right.
He bet me £100 today.
What, today?
Yeah.
He wouldn't have done that at the start of the season.
Nah. He bet it.
You wouldn't have done it at the start of the season. No Fulham fan would have.
Do you reckon
Because
they're
they
staying
weren't
up?
confident that Mitrovic would be doing what he's doing.
Do you reckon they're staying up?
I didn't before the season started. Right now, I think they've got a very good chance of staying up.
Have you said they're going down?
Yeah.
I think you might have lost your money.
Is it?
But if they've got to keep Mitrovic fit. If he's not fit, they're in trouble.
Right.
So you've got who's going down from now, right? 7 games in.
I think Leicester could go. You know.
I don't see how Brendan Rodgers turns this round. Is he going to?
I think they get rid of him. Someone else comes in.
I think there's a big
Can they
fee.
get
I
rid
think
of
there's a
him,
big fee they've got to pay if they get rid of him. I don't think they've got the dough to do it.
So yeah, like with
Well,
the Brendan
that's
Rodgers situation is interesting because he got no cash. They've been trying to write their wage to income sort of thing. So they weren't signing anyone, which if you're the owner of a football club, you either take it on the chin and say, yeah, we restricted the budget, therefore the manager gets time, but then you're taking the blame. How many owners have got the balls to take the blame themselves for how this season's going to go? Whereas if they go, Brendan Rodgers, there's your P45, bring a new manager in, it almost lets them put the blame onto him. And that's what makes me think, like, if I'm Leicester owners, I go, we take this on the chin because we didn't back him, and he's been pretty good for him. Give him some signings and see what he can do. But I don't know the owners enough to know whether they do that themselves.
I don't think they've got the money to do either.
But
I
if you
think
go
stick.
down though, Rio.
I think they stick and don't give him money still.
If you go down, like I don't know what their
But is there a better manager to keep him up, to get him up? Than Brendan Rodgers.
Big Sam.
But sometimes it's not about the better manager overall. It's just about staying up. And if you can get someone to come in, even in the short term, to give the guys a little buzz, you know, that's what they need right about now. Because otherwise they're going to lose 100 mil by just going down.
I don't know if there's a better person to keep this team up. I don't know. He's a top manager for me. I think he's a really good manager.
Really good manager.
But if you're talking about teams going down, I'm going to go Leicester, Forest, and Bournemouth.
What about the Hammers? Not having a good season.
I know, Moyes, man. Moisey. Don't call him Moisey if you're not his mate, by the way. That was unbelievable. Did you see that?
Yeah, no,
One
in
of
the
the
press
reporters
conference.
called him Moisey and he went, he threw the F-bomb in.
Yeah.
Fuck it, we're not that close.
Yeah. It was good.
It's nice.
That's deflecting from getting beat up.
Yeah, it has done that as well. They got beat by Everton. Great result. Frank, you thought Frank was going to go, didn't you?
I know they're up
you
to
said Frank was going to
13th.
go, didn't you?
They're on 7 points.
Go on, you thought Frank was going to go, didn't you?
I did, and he should. They've been absolutely gash.
He's turning it around, Frankie. Go on, Frankie.
Turn it round. They're still the 13th, right? They're on 7 points. They're 3 points ahead of West Ham. Literally, that was a huge game for either of those teams because they've just leapfrogged all the other pish that Arsenal have beat, like Palace and Villa and all the rest of them lot.
All right, cool. So before we close off, Arsenal beating Brentford 3-0 away. Ooh, really good
well
goals.
done.
Really good goals.
You
No,
should-
seriously. Really good goals.
Vieira's goal.
Yeah. What about Saliba? Saliba's header?
Sleeper's header's a good header, but
And Jesus.
Vieira's goal was top. Lovely goal.
No,
He
wait.
looks a really good player, by the way. Good
Okay.
signing.
Wait, let's bring it back to Saliba.
This guy, man.
In the papers, you made the papers this week, by the way, last week.
It's not nothing.
Nothing to do, but it was the context of which you made the
Okay,
papers
go
about.
on. Explain it to me.
It's about you saying
What?
Arsenal fans need to calm down, too much pressure on Saliba. It sounded to me like he was a bit hating a little bit. Just a little bit.
No, it was more aimed at you.
Didn't they lift it from this?
They lifted it from one of the shows. They lifted it from the show of me saying about you need to calm down, let him play. He's not played double-figure games yet this season.
But you know when
Yeah,
you,
but
but you know
he
when
He's
you
played
know,
10
He
games.
plays for the 5-team Invincibles.
but you know when you
sorry.
know, you know
5-game
when,
Invincibles season.
you know when you know.
He's got big potential, don't get me wrong. Big potential. But he ain't played 10 games yet.
Good header though. Good character, because after what
I
you
don't
said,
know, he ain't played 10
after what you
games.
said,
How are you saying he's
after
got
what
good
you said,
character?
to come back and score that goal. How comes Jack Grealish can get battered the whole week in the newspapers and stuff? He comes back, he scores with like, oh yeah, Jack, yeah, great response.
No, but
When it's Saliba,
Hold on. Who's been caning Saliba?
you,
What? What?
you, and all
Hold
the
on,
other
whoa,
Man
whoa,
United
whoa,
fans,
whoa, whoa.
all the other Man United fans,
I've caned Saliba.
you did.
You winding me up.
You didn't you see in the episode? You was like, oh yeah, no. You was
What
doing
was
it
I
in a
saying?
nice way. Like, oh,
Please,
yeah.
anyone who's a supporter of Vibe with
Caning
Five,
him.
who watches on a regular basis, go
Shut
back to
up,
the last
Steve.
episode
Shut up,
and
Steve.
see if I was caning Saliba. I've only ever been positive
Maybe
about
it's
him.
that or in my chats in it. Maybe I need to check my WhatsApps. Maybe I need.
What? This guy is mad.
No one's caning him. It's balancing out you claiming him to the best 21-year-old to ever play in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Which I stand by the way. But it's cool. Good goal, by the way. As long as you know.
Well
it.
done. I'm happy for Saliba to score.
Yeah,
and
well
for
done.
Arsenal to keep a clean sheet when Saliba's
Gab-
marshalling the back three, back four, whatever it was.
Gabriel Jesus. I'm glad he scored, by the way, because those Tottenham memes were really annoying me. Really annoying me.
What Tottenham memes?
Basically, when Son scored his hat trick, everyone started sending memes saying, "Oh, it only took Son 20 minutes. Yes, 20 minutes to equal Jesus' goal." Anyway,
But he did score against relegation fodder as well, so
yeah.
balances
And of course, Vieira, he's a little bit small for me, if I'm honest with you.
What did I talk about Messi? Well, Messi's smaller than him, isn't he?
Messi's Messi. Let's not.
I'm just saying.
But
You're
if
not
he
one of them
can-
coaches. Imagine him being on the sidelines. You're someone who isn't like
Roberto
the
Carlos.
tallest.
Why is he
You're
not
one of them-
6'4" at
You're one
12?
who's not the tallest, a winger or a midfielder, and you goes, he's too small. I'm not even looking.
I
at him.
just-
Are you one of them?
I want to see how he is combatively in midfield because it's not easy as the Premier League. If he's got the skills,
Bernardo Silva.
but
Fabregas.
he's scared. These are special players.
He's giving him one. He's judging a man on one game.
No, but
you
I'm
know.
saying I don't know yet, guys. I said I don't know.
I'm glad you're not at a football club.
I
I'm
said, yeah.
glad you're not involved in no recruitment or nothing like that.
I don't know. We'll
Gets
see.
to the game, sees a man small, he just walks out
Nope.
after 2 minutes, walks out. He's too
I saw
small.
him training.
Martinez would never have been signed by Joel.
Yeah.
5'9".
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying.
He
innit?
bought into that hype as well, didn't he, about his height? Not
Who?
realising he's still the highest percentage of duels won in the Premier League.
Who?
Martinez.
Who cares? Anyway, so yeah,
Are you just going to move on with
that's
that? Talk about
Arsenal. That's
having
Arsenal top
a
of the league.
15-year-old kid get his debut.
Yeah, that was really big, by the way. But you know what I heard? This is now I'm being honest, Joel, and it's a bit tough.
Well, you're choosing
First
to be
of
honest, Joel, here and there.
First of all, fantastic shout outs to him. I think, you know what I mean? Like, it's
15 years old, man.
bro. Like, that's incredible. I think, but I heard that a lot of it is to do, you would know, but it's to do with making sure that his value is up because obviously the way you can lose certain players if they don't make appearances and stuff like that. I'm not saying I know the ins and outs, but I heard a lot.
I think that's here. People are saying if buts and maybes is why he's got his debut so early.
Sometimes you get that to make it sign.
Yeah, to make him sign maybe as well. I get that, but listen, there's no doubt in this kid's ability. I've heard it from coaches that are at the club and from various different people in the game at that level that there aren't many 15-year-olds in the last 10 or so years that have got the ability that this guy's been showing on a consistent basis. We're talking the Fodens of this world. At 15, he's of a similar level they're talking. So it's I think it's testament to Arsenal that it's shown a lot of young players there is a pathway to the first team. We'll see in the coming weeks and months.
How do you pronounce it? Ethan Nwaneri.
Well done.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
we'll see in the coming months if it is genuine. But I try to be positive about the situations for young players. So listen, testament to him.
You don't get a debut at 15 in the Premier League
Without
unless
being
you got
top.
summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what the bit that I was talking
As
to
much as
my
I
two
want to
boys-
hammer Arsenal, just
No, but talking about to my boys about over the weekend after we come on, he's like, Dad, man, 15. I said, just imagine him walking in to school
the next day.
tomorrow. Like after this weekend he's had all of the media attention.
all his mates going, "You're going to sign for a big club soon."
Yeah.
Piss off.
But you know what? He's got in there. Like,
Shop window, our kid, let's go.
Do you know what? It's like the teacher saying to him, right, settle down. And he's going, listen, I was on match of the day. What are you talking about? Don't talk to me like that. I'll buy your car off you. You carry on. Like madness. It's going to be a big, his family are going to be really important.
Yeah.
And the people around him, his network around him are going to be massively important to control. Not just him, because I've heard he's quite a level-headed kid and got a really solid family around him, but to control the people and the controllables around him.
Oh, it's going to be chaos now.
Yeah, that's the important part, the controllables around him. I was a young player, got into the first team at a young age, not 15, but I got in and around, I was getting talked about quite early. And it's having people around you that can help you in those moments is so important. So good luck to him.
That's a video that we got to do, actually. I would love to focus on the earlier parts of your career and stuff like that, but on another day.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll do that. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we will be back with the signings of the season real soon. We're out.